switch to the design. Today we're just going to be looking at this header, and kind of like putting Pinegrow through its paces and trying to kind of figure out if it's any good or not, essentially. So here's the design. I actually, truth be told, I actually did get started on this already, like over the weekend, but I thought, stop, let's stream piecemeal the kind of learning of Pinegrow and building this website, and just kind of make some commentary as we work through the website. So without further ado, this is the design. We're going to be doing it mobile first. So if I go onto the mobile design here, I can start to put together this sort of, we'll do this hero heading, hero section, I think, and then we'll stop. We'll see how we get on, but I'm hopefully just going to spend an hour just kind of fixing this up, and we'll do it an hour a day. So if you're around tomorrow, please tune in tomorrow, and let's get cracking. So I've got Pinegrow open. You can see I already started it here, so we can probably just delete that. I'll do a new page and all the rest of it. So if you're new to Pinegrow, you haven't seen this before, you haven't seen my last stream, like I say, Pinegrow is a low-code platform. You can actually use it with no code, but really you're getting the most out of it if you are able to code. You're able to understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It can handle all that and take you, what I think, a lot further. But what's great is that when you first open it up, you've got these various different libraries that you can leverage to kind of get your project going. If you're familiar with Bootstrap, Tailwind, Foundation, and so forth. So I don't want any of these frameworks. I kind of want to start from scratch. So we're just going to go to plain HTML and start up a new project. And if we just save this page, I might try and save over my previous HTML page that I was doing over the weekend. There we go. So that's Jupiter in the Drafts, and then my agency. So let's just save over that and replace it. And then it'll ask us to open in the project. So here we go. I'll quickly run through the interface. Like I say, I have done a short video on this in the past, but right here you've kind of got all your files and all the rest of it. The Pinegrow kind of configuration file, the backups, and all the rest of that. Here you've got your HTML tree. You know, you'll start to see this be populated and all the rest of it. I tend to, well, I mean, I don't necessarily need to see my project files, so I just hide those. This is where you'll find all of your kind of elements which you'll be dragging into the page. So I can see now that we are bringing in some of the style of my already made things. So let's just remove that and start properly from fresh. Let's just save all. Cool. So yeah, this is where you'll be bringing in all your elements and various things like that. Over here you've got your element kind of properties, I would say. Very similar to Webflow, very similar to kind of the layout and all the rest of it, where you'd expect them to be. This is your classes. This is all your styling, which will be the thing I'll leave open the most. We've also got interactions, which are, I hear, better than Pinegrow in the library that it uses. It's a lot more efficient, a lot quicker, a lot smaller. So I look forward to using that. Here's where you can select an element and then look at the actual code and modify it and all the rest of it. You've got plugins, WordPress, theme builder, which is absolutely great if you're building WordPress themes. So it's already got that kind of built in. So that's a quick run through of the interface. Like I say, I'm still fairly new to this. I'm still kind of getting on. I'm finding my way through this piece of software. I've watched very few YouTube videos on the software, which has helped a little bit. But ultimately, I'm going to hopefully learn whilst I create the website. So I think that's enough of an introduction. So if we just remind ourselves of the hero that we're going to be creating, what I'll do is get that SVG, because I know I'm going to need that. My computer is absolutely hating me right now with what I'm putting it through. Gosh. Right, SVG. Here we go. I'm just going to save that for later. So what I like to do is I just build my kind of base HTML. So first of all, we're going to need, well, header, and main. If this is, I think we're going to have to close some of these applications because we are killing it. We are killing my computer right now. Let's see if we can free up some RAM. Let's do this thing. Cool. So body, take our header, bring that in. And what I like about Pinegrow is that it's super snappy. I'm running loads of stuff obviously in the background because I'm streaming right now, but it is very, very snappy, and that's quite a nice thing. I mean, there are pros and cons to having an online kind of interface, but it is nice just being able to work pretty quickly, pretty efficiently. So here we got my main kind of layout, and within here probably going to bring in a nav, and then within the nav I'll probably bring in an anchor. I'm hopefully going to be doing a collaboration with the Pinegrow team soon, just discussing kind of my and things like that from my last episode. That should be really, really fun. I'm just going to kind of challenge, suggest things, and we'll kind of get an opinion or some sort of validation from Pinegrow themselves. So look out for that. We might stream it. I might just post it directly to YouTube. I don't know. So here we go. We've got our SVG. So I'm put that inside the link. Remember, this is our logo. Have I missed something in? Nope, it's just collapsed and everything. Cool. And then I'm probably going to have a little, if we go back to the design, got our little menu buttons here. I'll take those as an SVG too. Yeah, inside the nav we'll probably have a list. Wish that opened up. UL. I wish that opened up, you know, when I search something, but never mind. Cool. Stick that in my nav, and then do li. What I did learn yesterday, actually, if I bring my li and tap 2, that will do a repeater. I haven't managed to get this to work. There's a repeater here, so if I just do 2, let's try and get this to work. So it says li2, and you can have 2 li's, so we don't need the third one. But there is a way to do it by pressing the number 2 whilst you have those things. So in here then, these are probably going to be buttons, if I remember rightly. They're probably going to trigger a menu as opposed to going to any pages. Make contact and then menu. So one's going to be a button, one's going to be a link. Button. It's going to be a second one. And then this is what I really like about Pinegrow as well. You can copy in your HTML that you've got from somewhere, and then you can drag it in like just like another element. Let's put that on the button. I want edit that text. Oh yeah, this is what I had trouble with the other day too. I couldn't just, if I wanted to remove that space, it tends to delete the SVG. So let's just undo that. Just leave it like that and see how far we get. And then this one needs an anchor as well. Let's see if I can get some stream details. Mobile live dashboard, this is what I want. Just so I can see what y'all are saying. Cool. Check that there. Let me know if you need me to turn things up or you want to see things more as well, because I can hear some chatter outside. Let me know if you can hear that. What was I doing? I want an SVG, so let's get another SVG, whack it in the link. I mean, if you're a developer, I'm like quite old school, hardcore kind of front-end developer. Let me know if you do your HTML and CSS at the same time, because what I find is a lot of people kind of do them simultaneously, but why I like to do it separately is there's a purpose for HTML. You know, HTML is a markup language to tell computers what the content is, what it means, what it's intending on doing, regardless of how it looks. So I feel like focusing solely on the HTML, you think about that. You're not distracted by the style or anything like that. So I'm able to clearly kind of put things and think about what am I creating here? What am I marking up? So this is a link, this is an ally. These are basic things. But when you start to get, into sections, there's tons of HTML elements. There's just so much that it's impossible to kind of think of them at the same time, the style and the HTML. So that's why I like to do the HTML first. But we'll actually, thinking of time, we'll probably just do this header here, and then just call it a day then after that. Right. So now, with that being said, what does the menu look like? I don't know whether we've got the design for the menu yet. Is that it? No. Could that be it? No, we don't have a mobile menu. We'll stick something in and then we'll style it later. So, yeah. Let's create our menu. In fact, header nav. So it will still be a nav. I'm trying to think because we've got the menu as well. I mean, technically, this is what I mean. Like when you're doing style at the same time, you don't kind of think about this sort of stuff. So I'm thinking the menu that comes in, should this be within the nav here? I'm tempted to say yes, and my guess is it's going to be another UL. So let's do that. If we're wrong, we're wrong. No worries. We'll figure it out. Let's just get something in there. And then LIs. I think there's an opportunity. I think there's an opportunity in this to be a bit more intuitive, to be fair. But in this example, I think if I've created a UL, I'm likely going to want to create an LI. And it would be nice if there was like smart suggestions or something like that based on the elements that you create, just in that scenario. So we should have used our handy little trick. If we can get this working. LI, let's put 3. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see anything there. Yeah. See, it was registering it underneath. So if I just do that, do 3. LI. And then boom, boom, boom. Cool. it would be cool as well. I've just thought of something. If you use Emmet as a developer, you're probably used to kind of doing this thing, or li times 3 with a link in it. That would be cool if you could drag that down and then you'd create whatever it is you specify there. So FYI Pinegrow, that could be a cool little feature there. I wish this was a little bit faster. My computer is really suffering with all this stuff running. Right, anchor. Cool. Let's put this one as. Actually, I know we have got a desktop design, so let's just look at that for the menu. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three, four, 5. There we go. And home. Case studies. Services. Make contact. And privacy policy. I made a typo in that. Services, cool. I think that's pretty much it for. What's that? Yeah, there seems to be a bug or something with that. Okay, that's annoying. Transform. Cool. Did I accidentally copy? Ugh. Oh, there's the. Oh no, that's my thing, yeah. That's annoying. Copy, paste. Can't seem to hold Alt that, or my computer's just been a bit slow. Cool. Anchor, change that to a button. Is this one the button or the anchor? This one should be a button. Button. Cool. Let's get some style going and see what we can do. In fact, I'm going to bring in normalize before we continue. Add new. Touch. This must be all my old stuff, so it's just really should have done a new page, shouldn't I? Right, link. So where is that file gone? Oh, it's in the source. We'll just do that one and then delete that one. Ah, there it is, yeah. Yep. You can see SAS as well, so I haven't dug into that too much just yet. Let's delete it actually. We'll try and put SAS into this, but the way I like to use SAS, I don't know how Pinegrow will handle that. Anyway, so we've got normalize, that should be before. And let's just set some of this up. Why not? What is this? Title. How can I edit that? Title. That's an attribute. How can I edit that? Maybe that's it. There we go. Cool. Now we can do styling. So let's close all that up. Header. Header, create a class. So we want some of that yellow. Just looking at that white space at the top there. And thought that would be removed by normalize. Maybe it's something else. Might be a UL. Right. So we've got our header there. In fact, I'm going to remove that and move it into the nav here. Header, use BEM. Cool. And that's our mobile menu. The link first. It's another important thing actually is the order of things, so we probably do want it in this order. I think that's cool. Maybe display inline block. How do I edit that class? Classes. Come on, Dell. Why do I keep hitting that E? Right. Add class done. Come on, Dell. isn't that coming up? Odd. I bet that's created twice now. In CSS. No. Cool. So what do we want? We want a list display. List. List. Display flex. Cool. And let's get rid of this button. Border none. Cool. Probably need to change that color, the SVG. So if I was going to go in here, go to the SVG, I can then go and look at the style, or the HTML rather, for just that element. Cool. Let's hide this menu. Be interested to know what your thoughts are of Pinegrow. I know that a lot of people say this interface is like super clunky, and there's a lot it is overwhelming, to be fair. Lots of text boxes and things like that. It takes a lot to understand it, but I think once you get past that, you actually become it's quite nice. It's not too bad. You sort of know everything is. But unfortunately, it's that initial hit where it's quite overwhelming that I think scares a lot of people away. So, yeah. Is that not the actual... Oh, it's display, isn't it? No, it's not. Huh? Okay, that's not what I want then. Here we go. Fixed. Put it there. Now that's out of the way. Let's style all this. Cool. So look at this padding. Try and get used to this tactic I learned where In fact, I don't think we've done it at all here, but if we go to the HTML, maybe put it on the body, and we put the font size to 1 vertical width, and then just use, it'll be here surely, yeah, and then just use EMs or REM, things kind of scale nicely with the with whatever it is, you know. So if we do that, and then we go to the nav 27, rotate rem and pixel 2 rem. Always have this on standby. So I think it's 14. Three. Cool. Let's look at those. It looks like there's a margin on top. Yeah. Yeah, see, I mean, if there's a margin, I would like to see that in there, but I guess it's browser defaults as opposed to actual styling being put on it. Maybe it should be grayed out or something like that, like it's an implied styling. That would be quite nice. And let's put some padding. So I need to make that into a class. Cool. That's what I often do on Pinegrow, forget to create the classes. So that's that. This we want to go to the contact page, which you don't have yet, but see what I want to add a href, but what is that rendering as? Let's have a little look. Might not have transformed it into a link. Apologies, I'm just sharing. Let's have a look then. Come on. So it's actually, yeah, so it's actually transformed it into an anchor. My God. My computer is slow. Test 1 2. Sorry, my audio's gone. Here we go, we're back. Cool. Right. That's what we want. And the href will probably be contact. Okay. So there's a space in that. Why can't I... edit that text? Okay, let's see if we can bosh out this header in the next 10 minutes and then we'll wrap up. So this is probably going to be some Three.js nonsense, which should be really interesting to do in Pinegrow. I'm just trying to think for now, maybe we just have it as a background image and we'll deal with that later on. Probably don't want it as crazy Three.js stuff in mobile anyway. So let's see what this does. Go to site. Get rid of Safari. Okay, right. Main. Make our hero. Let's give this a class. Probably a background image, I think. Image. Oh, this computer's painful. Just have to change the name for that for sure. Okay. That's another thing I wish Pinegrow would do. I've set a background image, but I'm guessing we need to set all these to be able to see it. Something's going on there. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we can see it there. Looks like garbage, but we can see it. We'll figure out, obviously it doesn't look quite right, but we'll figure that out a little bit later on. So let's get some... Let's put H1 in there. We need our font, which work sense. This is just painful. Come on. Probably should have it already loaded in, to be fair. No, we don't. Cool. Excellent. I have a feeling we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon because my computer is not liking this. Let's just get this last bit of text in there. Actually, I'll probably put it in the H1. Let's have a look. Yeah, kind of makes sense. Right, I've had enough of this now. I'm containing my anger. So, put it this way. I think we're gonna have to call it a day. I'm gonna sort out what's going on here, and we'll try and stream tomorrow. So sorry I had to put up with a bit of lag there. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow we'll finish up this header and probably maybe do the desktop version as well then, so we've got the complete journey and all the rest of it. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.